You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Coming to you live from a world where they pay us for Rick and Morty content and where there's far fewer fans, and it ended just right after the pilot. But then they did a podcast about us, and it was called Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are here. We're podcasting. I'm Travis.
I'm Brandon. In a world where Brandon and Travis, there is a Brandon and Travis who podcast about Brandon and Travis, but we're different Brandon and Travises.
Oh, that would be a good.
I'm the
pitch.
bald one,
and I have glasses. It's Earth Dimension D149 on Interdimensional RSS, the podcast where we talk about another podcast hosted by Brandon and Travis. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back to the show. Thank you for being a subscriber, because odds are, if you're listening to this right now, then you subscribe to this show. You didn't go out searching on a random afternoon to hear Brandon and Travis. This fed right into your podcatcher of choice, and we appreciate that you continue to support the show. Thank you for listening. If you are new here, if you stumbled upon us by accident, if this is some freak in the celestial cosmos, then you're probably not following us on social media, which is unfortunate, but there's ways that you can. You can follow us on Twitter at Rick and Morty Pod. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Rick and Morty Podcast. On Instagram, Rick and Morty Podcast. And send us an email at rickandmortypodcast@gmail.com. We are all over the internet. We are on Reddit. rickandmorty.reddit.com is the official subreddit. Our subreddit is rickandmortypodcast.reddit.com. You can also go to the website rickandmortypod.com for this podcast. So there you go. You can do that. You can also join us live Monday nights. If you follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/apathetic enthusiasm, you can catch all of our live podcasts over there. Or if you missed the show live, it's okay. If you still want to see which one has glasses and which one's bald, then you can go to youtube.com/apathetic enthusiasm and catch video versions of all of our episodes. I think, do we still have shirts? Is shirts still a thing?
we should actually check on that.
We should check on that.
Because TeePublic went to a different site. I don't think it's called. Is it called TeePublic anymore? I don't even know.
I don't know. Here's your homework, Unity. Head out to apatheticenthusiasm.com/shop. See if you can get a t-shirt. If you can't, then head to patreon.com/apatheticenthusiasm and support the show directly right over there. Thank you to everybody that supports the show over at patreon.com. You guys are the best.
Think about it like this. You could get a shirt that will deteriorate over one wash, or that's not a good advertisement for TeePublic. Or
maybe it doesn't matter anymore.
Go to patreon.com/apathetic enthusiasm and just give us $1 a month.
Just say thanks.
It's less than a cup of coffee, unless it's like a very cheap cup of coffee, or you're staying in a hotel and there's usually free coffee downstairs.
Typically, yeah.
So
it's more expensive than hotel coffee, but less expensive than like coffee shop coffee. And knowing you like the good stuff. So support us at patreon.com/apathetic enthusiasm. Brandon, how you doing? You ready to rock some Rick and Morty? You excited to be doing this?
I think I'm ready to do this. We'll talk about how I'm ready and excited to get into our main thing a little bit later. But let's roll. We have a few housekeeping bits to go through. We haven't done this in a while, so I don't know where to start.
I don't know. I was just doing like friendly banter. I was gonna do like a life catch up and be like, "Oh, Brandon, you live in a new house. Oh, yay! Like your background's different. Woohoo!"
I do. Let's talk about that for 10 to 20 minutes. I have a new house. I live in a house. I'm not renting anymore. I'm in my own house, and I decorated the room. So if you go to Twitch, you'll see my room's decorated, and I've got the foam in the background. I started putting them up yesterday, and I was realized I don't want to put all of these up. I'll put them in a unique design so it looks like it's intentional, kind of, with the exception of
Yeah.
this corner
It
piece.
kind of has almost like a diner vibe, like that. It's like you were going for a checkerboard pattern, and then decided after one row, that's enough. That's they get it. They get it.
It's true. It's true. I have over on this other side too.
Oh,
Uh,
more sporadic sound tiles.
more sporadic sound titles. What I plan to do is, now that I live closer to my parents and my dad specifically, it means that I can enlist him to do all of the work that I want to do with like skill saws and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make my own sound panels that actually, like, these just kind of block the reverberations just a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
but the sound panels are gonna make it so much better. So I'm gonna
Oh,
I'm gonna build my own
oh,
as a project. Oh, Matt is
oh.
in the chat. Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be anyways.
Meanwhile, I'm going to continue podcasting from my closet and just use all of the clothes to help muffle the sound. So, yeah, there's your life catch up from Apathetic Enthusiasm. All right, that's not why you're here. You're here to talk Rick and Morty. We do have something special planned for the main thing. Obviously, no new episodes out yet, but we're not going to let that stop us from coming up with some episodes of our own. So stick around for the main thing. But before we get to that, it's paramount that we get into some semi-pertinent news.
Beaver belching is the beer that Brandon's drinking. Belching beaver beer is the beer Brandon's brewing in his mouth while he gets ready for semi-pertinent news.
Not a sponsor. But if they want to sponsor us, hit us up. rickandmortypodcast@gmail.com. Yes, semi-pertinent news.
I'm sorry.
They're not getting better. Let's just face it, they're not. Okay, so still a little bit of a dry spell, a little bit of a slow news season in terms of Rick and Morty news. Studio's been pretty quiet. We haven't seen a whole lot of. I mean, social media is continuing to churn out a lot of clips from season 5, a lot of little mashups of different episodes, things like that, which is fun to see in your social media platform of choice. But if you somehow missed all of season 5, or it's just been a while since you watched it, and you're now like kind of half forgetting what happened in season 5, and you're like, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought, or maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. I should watch it with a critical eye. Well, good news. Adult Swim has you covered. On May 29th, there will be a season 5 marathon over at Adult Swim, where you can watch the whole season, available from top to bottom, front to back, cover to cover. You can watch it. Stay up all night.
The whole damn thing. You can watch the whole damn thing. Marathon.
Which is only like 5 hours, right? Like it's not too bad.
It's not that long. It's not. So watching Joe Bob every Friday night. It's only 2 movies, right? But I tell people when they're like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend? You want to hang out Friday?" I'm like, "No, I've got a movie marathon that I'm watching."
Sorry, I'm committed to Joe Bob on Fridays.
I'm committed to Joe Bob. My older brother's coming into town this week. He's flying in for a wedding this weekend, and I was like, I know you're coming in Friday, but I can't hang out because I'm watching Joe Bob and 2 horror movies. He said, "Oh, la di da, someone's gonna get laid in college." And yeah. So anyway, Joe Bob, 2 movies, a marathon. It is
2 movies, anyways, intercut with great commentary and potentially folding chairs or something from the pictures I've seen. Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Joe Bob.
Right.
Yeah, so go watch season 5 on May 29th, or if you happen to be a subscriber of HBO Max, you can catch all 5 seasons available out there. Also DVDs, Blu-rays. It's all available. You can buy a digital copy. You have no excuse. see every episode.
Since the season ended, have you gone back and watched season 5?
Yes and no. I mean, I have watched episodes of season 5. I have not watched it like straight
Front to
through,
back.
front to back. Yeah. So,
You skipped a couple episodes.
yeah. I have picked up this hobby of painting stuff that I've printed, and I like to have some sort of like show or something on in the background while I'm painting things. Rick and Morty is a great show to do that with because I've seen every episode, I've talked about every episode. It's still a great show, but I don't necessarily have to like focus on the show or pay attention to it very closely to still appreciate it and certain parts. I can like look up from what I'm painting for a certain moment or a certain exchange of conversation, but for the most part, it's just kind of something to have on in the background. So I've had a lot of season 5 on, watched the Nimbus episode a couple of times. Yeah, just, various season 5 episodes. Have not gone back to the incest baby one. Haven't found myself back there quite so much, but yeah.
No, I haven't either. That was the last time I watched the season 5. Was I was painting as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is good. This is good. La, 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 la. And then next episode, you want to watch? I'm like, which episode? Oh, incest baby. I'm skipping.
Which I will say, there is a shuffle option now on HBO Max. Are you aware of this?
I wasn't aware of it. No, we should talk about it on AE, but.
Oh, sure. But specifically, I was watching Rick and Morty episodes, and I could have picked an episode, or I could have clicked shuffle, and then it won't necessarily show the episodes in order, but it will shuffle through them so that if you want to do some sort of, algorithmic marathon and not necessarily watch them all in order, but just watch random episodes, let HBO decide. Leave it up to fate.
That is a great option for like Flight of the Conchords, since it's just there's no through line in that show.
Yeah,
you can come in any point in time. Just any time. Such a good show.
Twilight Zone.
Okay,
Twilight Zone would be great for that.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, Twilight Zone on CBS.
All right, what else we got in Semi-Perts, Brandon?
All right. Well, let's go ahead and it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot going on. There are some more comic books that are coming out all the time, but I don't have that information right in front of me. So instead of talking about it, I'm gonna allude to it. Say, go to Comixology and check it out. But then I'm gonna go into the Reddit post of the week, and the Reddit post of the week here is, I saw this on one of the Rick and Morty shit posting pages on Facebook, and I've seen it a few other places, and it's this gag where it says this man was born to play Jerry, and I saw it the other day with Idris Elba as this man was born to play Jerry, and I thought that was funny. But earlier, right before we started recording, I was looking for the Reddit post of the week. Travis asked, "What? Did you just laugh at a Reddit post?" And I said, "Yes." And the Reddit post of the week is, "This man was born to play Jerry." And it is the man who plays Jerry, with 13,000 upvotes. It's getting lower as the season is going. Old Parnell, it's just a picture of him. So
it's a good picture of Chris Parnell, I gotta say.
It is.
I mean, it's a good photo.
He is a handsome looking dude. If you really boil it down.
Such a Jerry, man.
Anyways, good job to Schwareni. It does have a couple of reports, 2 user reports, low effort, and then 1 for flooding, which that's not a good one. But
yeah, that's never good, especially without proper drainage.
Well, let's talk about some insights, because Reddit now, for the moderators, it also gives you post insights. So 472,000 total views for this.
Wow.
A 94% upvote rate, not applicable for community karma, but 102 total shares. There you go. That is the insight you get from the Rick and Morty.
That's how the algorithm works, baby. That's the inside baseball we give you here on Interdimensional RSS. Woo, woo.
Woo! But that's it. That's it for the Reddit post of the week. If you find a Ribbit post, which is the frog version of Reddit, if you find a Reddit post, please that you really like or whatever, send it our way. Shoot it over to our Twitter. Shoot it to me at Barnyard Cruise on Reddit, and
Send us a letter.
We'll make sure.
Mail it to us.
Yeah,
Buy
PO
a
box.
stamp.
Ribbit.
Yeah. Ribbit.
Pond.
Ribbit.pond. Yep. That's right.
But we do the Reddit post of the week, and it's fun. But really, what we're here for normally is a different type of social media, and it's the Dan Harmon social media minute.
Dan Harmon social media minute. When you only have a minute to drink your beer that's made with a squirrel. It's the Dan Harmon social media minute. I forgot the name of your beer. I was gonna talk about squirrel ale or something, but anyway. Belching Beavers. Okay, not a sponsor. All right, so Dan Harmon, he's over on Instagram. Don't look for him on Twitter, but he is at Dan Harmon over on Instagram. And fairly recently, and by that I mean at the end of April, he did share a post over on his Instagram, and it's some clips of when he was on the WTS with Steve Ramsey, which is a different podcast. So Dan was on a podcast talking with Steve about his newfound love, his hobby of woodworking. He talks about how he got into woodworking and what he loves about it. One of the quotes from the interview is that nobody can tweet your table into irrelevance. Basically talking about how no one can snub you at the Emmys because of your table or things like that. Alluding to the fact that when he writes a script, when he creates a show, there's a certain level of feedback, thoughts that he gets from the fans. But when he builds a table, like the table exists, it's there. It's you made a thing. It's a physical item, and he gets a lot of pride or sense of accomplishment out of those things. So
ignore that.
Okay.
Keep going.
Ignoring that. Anyway, yeah. So if you want to check out the interview, you can check out the WTS podcast. Dan, anytime you want to come on here, it's a long off season. Happy to have you on the show. Not a problem. If you want to just do the show from Brandon's house, I think he's within driving distance now. So feel free to do that. And if you guys want to follow Dan Harmon, he is at Dan Harmon over on Instagram. That's Dan Harmon Social Media Minute.
That's right. Thank you so much for that. I did see Dan Harmon social media minute the other day that I liked, which was him and Normal Heller, his fiance.
His
they were celebrating
fiance,
celebrating her birthday or anniversary.
Yeah, it was her birthday. Yes.
And he tweeted a picture of them together, and he complimented her and said, "No, I'm going to get off here because this day is about her, not about me." And I'm like, by the way, I follow her on Instagram, and her Instagram is full of planking videos because she just sits there and planks for like time lapse 10 minutes at a time.
Holy cow.
And I can make it 30 seconds before I'm like, oh no, I gotta take a dump.
I just scrolled through the Instagram page, and I would say 90, if not 100% of these appear to be planking videos. So yeah, yeah, go for it. Good job. Good job, Cody.
Yeah.
All right. So that's social media. That's Dan Harmon. We have to give a special shout out, a special mid podcast shout out to Have a Good A Face, who just subscribed for 9 months over on Twitch. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the subs. Have a good day, Face. Appreciate you and everybody following along over at twitch.tv/apathetic enthusiasm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for semi-pertinent news. Semi-pertinent news is done. This is the time when we would insert an ad break if we had actual sponsors, but we're still kind of working on that thing.
Before we move on, I just want to say something, right? Here's what I want to say. right now we are recording this. It's the 16th of May. Mother's Day just passed. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. We're going into June soon, and June is known. It is world renowned, universally renowned as the month of the father.
Oh.
So I just want to throw this
Let's
out
hear it for
there.
the patriarchy. Am I right?
let's for once in our lives, can we hear about the fathers? And we know that there's some question about what do fathers want, and we're going to give you the answer not this week, but just
Soon.
just put that in your pipe.
You know,
Put that in your
grads
father
want
pipe.
all the attention, but it's dads and grads, okay? And we're gonna have plenty to say about that very soon. But while we come up with all of that, it is time for us to now go into your favorite segment and mine. It's none other than No, it's time for the main thing.
Shake the pepper. Shake the pepper. Open the salad. Take the salad out. Then put the dressing on. It's salad time, main thing. It's salad time, main thing.
Can't wait to eat that salad after we get through talking about the main thing. All right, everybody. If you've been a long time listener, watcher, viewer, subscriber of this show, you know typically the main thing is a time when we talk about episodes. We talk about new episodes. We will review them. We've spent time talking about characters. We've had interviews with the people that write and create the show, and we got none of that today. What we're doing now is we thought it would be fun as two people that have watched a lot of Rick and Morty have discussed Rick and Morty at length for what, hundred of episodes at this point, it feels like. We would try our hand at pitching a few episode ideas. So what we have done is Brandon and I have both come up with a couple of episode pitches. These are not full episodes. They're not fully broken down, but some nuggets, some ideas, some scene setting, some ideas for how an episode could go. And we do not know each other's ideas, but we're going to kind of pitch them to each other and then kind of workshop them a little bit live on the show and just see what we come up with. See if we can come up with a decent Rick and Morty episode idea just sort of live on the podcast. So maybe this is going to work great. Maybe maybe it's the next Blood Dome Battle League. Who knows? Maybe this is a one and done. But Brandon, we didn't really decide who gets to go first. I don't know. How do you want to do this?
We didn't decide who goes first. But before we go any further, I want to throw this out there. If you aren't following us yet on Twitter, make sure you go to twitter.com/Rick and Morty pod. Make sure that when you're listening to these, you remember the names, you remember the concepts, and you at us when you hear something. I'm probably going to put one of those poll tweets, like the POLL, not POLE tweets, right? Where it says the poll and like, which one do you like the best? Ooh, and then at the end of it, it shows you like a percentage. You're like, oh, they must have really liked this one because they all voted for this one, right? That's what we're going to do. So go to Rick and Morty pod Twitter and follow us so you can follow along. Okay. I guess you're not following along there. You're tweeting at us at that point.
Yeah, just tweet.
Who goes first? That is a really good question. If you know who should go first, go to twitter.com/Rick and Morty and let us know. What's Rick and Morty? Have a good day face says out in Twitch land. I just want you to go first. Just go ahead and go first. I'll go second.
Okay. I literally just wrote the episode titles for both of my episodes while you were talking. Okay. So
you're buying time.
First pitch. Okay. So basically I'm calling this Morty gets a summer job. This is the Kevin Smith episode, right? Rick and Morty
Okay.
episodes. Rick and Morty episodes are usually based on some sort of movie or theme or genre. So Snooch Rick Bordy's is the Kevin Smith episode, right? So my idea is for a cold open where like Morty bumps into Jessica, who's working a part-time job at the mall. I'm thinking like mall food court, maybe like a hot dog on a stick, but probably with a cooler, like funnier Rick and Morty type name, like I don't know, something weird. But they have some sort of awkward conversation that ends with Jessica saying that she's basically stuck at the mall all summer working that job, right? Cut to the title, and then right out of that, Principal Vagina, we're in Principal Vagina's office, and he's got Morty in there, and he's basically saying, you've have historically high number of absences. So in order to make up for that, you can either go to summer school or sign up for the summer work study program where he'd still earn credits over the summer. And so then Morty kind of, thought bubbles up. Hey, all right, Morty's dreaming like, I'm going to spend the summer at the mall. I'll work with Jessica. There's like scenes of them like going out on a date and then their wedding with like hot dog on the stick, like catering it or something in the background, right? And so that's basically the episode, right? Is Morty is working at the mall, but now he's like stuck at a lame job all summer. And so this is where we bring in like the Kevin Smith angle, right? Because we can do the scenes like Clerks, where you could go black and white for some. You've got like the black screen with like titles on it, like little scene titles, and then you could have characters in there, so the other twist on it is Rick's pissed about this. He doesn't like that Morty has his own job this summer, but he's also got these like moon rocks that he's trying to move. So he kind of uses the hot dog on a stick to like launder money, but they're these moon rocks which cause all these aliens to come in, and so there's aliens hanging out the mall too.
Okay.
And then you just make a bunch of like mall rats and Clerks references throughout the whole thing. So, yeah,
Okay.
that's my pitch. What do you think?
Okay. All right. So, so it's kind of like um, like a Rixie business type of thing, but instead of like a party at the Smith household, it's it's Clerks meets Mallrats meets Empire Records meets
Yes.
um,
Yes.
bringing all of that together, and like I wasn't even supposed to be here this day type of thing.
Yeah, like you can almost do. I had thoughts of almost like a interdimensional cable-esque type thing, but it's not. It's not like going with completely random improvised stuff, but you could do little vignettes where like something random happens in the mall, where like an alien's doing something.
Yeah.
It's almost
Okay.
anthology episode-esque, but you bring in guest director Kevin Smith. He just kind of goes ham. He pulls everything out of the backlog, and Rick gets involved by basically doing something illegal, using the store as a front. And selling, I don't know, alien moon rocks or something. He could totally like play on the like Jay and Silent Bob angle, where like they're drug dealers and he could like be, dealing coaxium crystals or some sort of, like stuff like that. I picture, and I've seen it online, I probably have a sticker of it, where you have like Rick and Morty, like Morty's in the long trench coat with a cigarette. Rick kind of looks like Jay. He's got the beanie on or something like that. You could totally do something like that. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, the world is our cloister.
Yeah.
What it reminds me of, kind of, I like the idea of having a bunch of little side stories. The reference that I have in my head is on The Simpsons, 22 short films about Springfield, where there's just a bunch of random vignettes of.
Yeah.
It's not even Rick and Morty vignettes necessarily. It's like all the like side characters throughout that city, in the mall,
Exactly.
doing stuff like, and it's a good way to have a bunch of like random situations that are Rick and Morty, where they don't need an entire episode to really cover. I like it.
Okay, cool. Coming season 6. They're writing it.
Season 6. All right. So I will admit that I didn't go as deep as you did for
That's
some
as
of these
deep as
things.
I went. The other one's like 2 paragraphs or like 2 sentences.
Okay, perfect. Because all I did was come up with the synopsis for the episode, with a little bit of a theme, with some extra references, and then the directed by. So
Okay.
first up, here's my idea. So the synopsis. And I'll finish up with the episode's title.
Okay.
The synopsis. Rick thinks about upgrading his ship for a new model and checks out a Universal spaceship show full of classic ships, muscle ships, and upcoming new models. Rick's ship gets jealous and enters a spaceship competition to win Best of Show to prove that she's still relevant. Now, what do you think the name of my episode is?
I don't know, but I bet I'm gonna laugh when you say it.
Ships all that.
All right.
And
All right, I'm here for it.
So the theme is like car shows, beauty pageants,
Yes.
that type of stuff. And so it can go dig into kind of lampooning that type of stuff and having commentary about that. References, obviously, She's All That, not another teen movie. I'll put that out there. American Graffiti, I want to have that in there. A Morty can, Rick Feedy was already a thing, so I could do that.
Sure.
Yeah. But and directed by, of course, George Lucas.
There you go. Yeah. From his
very
American
well-known
Graffiti fame, obviously. Yeah. No, I think that's really good. I love the sentience of Rick's ship coming into play there, right? Like, he built this ship out of, junk in the garage, but it's become a character in the show, right? And so for him to be like, oh, the ship keeps falling apart or whatever. Oh, this thing's crap. Come on, Morty, we're going to a car show. And like, he'd probably have to portal there, right? Because he couldn't take his actual ship. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's just that heartless, and so they just hop in the ship and they're like, all right, let's go. And they park it out front and they like slam the door and walk in, and then she, as I personify the ship, yeah, she sees what's happening and she starts becoming more self-aware, and yeah, I love it.
What I started off with, I was sitting on my couch and I was thinking, okay, like Rick, like what happens when he actually decides he wants to like slow down a little bit and retire, right? Like hit his middle age. And I thought about like I love my dad. He has a 32 hot rod, and he takes taking it to car shows, and and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, car show. Like, what can I do with that? I'm like, oh, the ship. Oh, Rick's is going through his thing. Okay, all right. What even happens as a car show? Like, people just like, there's competitions about which car looks the best. Like, oh, okay, all right. Here we go.
I feel like there has to be some like epic twist you don't see coming in the second act, where like, I don't know, an alien terrorist group or something takes over the car show or something, and then Rick's ship ends up having a pivotal role in defending the car show. And so it's not the beauty, it's who the car is that matters,
right,
to Rick. And
that's right. It turns into a spoof of Miss Congeniality by the end
yeah.
of it, where she was really actually just a deep cover agent.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. These are free, by the way. These are free, Time Warner. Just give us a co-writing credit, and we're here for it. So, great. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I wish there were more people in chat who could chime in with ideas too. So I know there's a few of you there watching. If you have a great idea for how we can make one of these better, by all means, jump right out there and let us know your thoughts. All right. So what was the name of that again?
That was Ships All That.
Ships All That. So those are your first 2 pitches. What did I call mine?
What was yours? What was
I
yours
think
called?
it was Snootrick Boardies. Instead of Snoochie Boochies, so Snootrick
Okay.
Boardies. All right, so my other pitch, this is definitely a season 6 and beyond episode, right?
Okay.
So background with the elimination of the central finite curve, we find ourselves in a dimension where Rick is no longer the de facto smartest being in any given reality, right? So this makes way for more lame Ricks or differently abled Ricks, and much stronger foes as well. So and then obviously the Citadel was destroyed in the process, so most of the other Ricks from the central finite curve are not around anymore, right? The idea for this one is we find ourselves in a dimension where Rick is the most charismatic, but not the smartest being in the universe. I'm sort of coining him as like frat guy Rick, right? So like, he's good with talking to people. He's everybody likes him, but he doesn't always make the right choices. He's not super smart, right? So I think there's like a situation maybe where like these. I was trying to figure out how we get these two Ricks into the same place. So I think, Rick C-137, he ends up getting captured by some post-CFC alien race that's able to outsmart him because he is no longer the smartest person in all realities, right? So he enters into some reality. There's an alien race that outsmarts him, but Charisma Rick is also there, and he ends up using those charismatic skills to get them out of some sort of situation. So they have to work together, a smart Rick and a charismatic Rick. And then they all learn, a lesson about friendship or something. The episode was titled Rickling for Charismort, and it's directed by the Russo brothers. So
I like the idea of Rick C-130 Rick C-137 Rick going on a team with a completely different Rick, and that being the understanding of uh him looking at it into a different strength of his versus
sure, yeah,
always focusing on like I was always the smartest man in the universe, and now realizing, oh, there's other ways to get by without having to be super smart, like, and appreciating that, kind of similar to like the Two Crows, kind of sticking with that kind of theme, like,
sure,
oh, like
yeah,
empathy is a thing that I need to work on, and what have you, with this season 6 of Rick's growth happening over time. So I dig it. I dig it. And then of course, they they meet a couple other people, and then like Jerry is a different way. Like Jerry's super. Well, they did that in the comics, but
yeah,
super smart.
yeah. You could have, I don't know. I ended up, the reason I rolling for charisma, Rickling for charisma, right? Obviously our D&D backgrounds, but I was like, what are things you could be super strong in, right? What are those stats, right? Obviously intelligence. I think that's Rick's go-to, right? Is he's super smart. But what if intelligence was his dump stat and charisma was his highest, right? I don't think a dexterity Rick would be as compelling of an episode. Maybe it would. A wise Rick could be a thing. I don't know. There's a lot of things you could play with.
That would be like the the woodworking episode where where Rick is just building things with out of wood. Like
because he can't cancel his woodworking on Twitter, right? That's what a wise Rick knows. So
that's right. What was the name of the episode again?
Rickling for Charismort.
Okay, it's all right. Now I've got it. Okay, I dig that. um, Okay, all right. That's two episodes, and you said that was directed by the Russo brothers, which they're good. They're
Yeah,
good. They know
tons of directing credits on Community. So before they got all that Marvel money. So yeah, I'd love to see him come back and guest direct on a Rick and Morty episode.
definitely. I agree with it. So remember that. Okay, here's my second one, Travis. All right, here's the synopsis. Promising to do better for his Morty and all of the adopted Mortys after the fall of the Citadel, Rick decides he needs to be better, and he decides to do his best to get his Mortys an education. After all, he told them that, like school is dumb, right? So believing that public school is still full of mediocrity, he just decides, I can teach them. So he decides to homeschool all the Mortys. So he creates this gigantic virtual homeschool system, and throughout the course of the episode, he finds it's a little bit more difficult than he thought it was going to be to manage all of these Mortys. The episode name, I have two potential episode names for this, Travis. But go ahead, show me what you got. What do you think a good episode name would be?
Oh, School of Rick.
That is a good one. I actually like that. I like that one too. My two episode titles were not that was not one of them. The first one is Dangerous Mortys, and the second one, which is the one I actually like, Black Mort Jungle. Like the classic movie Blackboard Jungle with I was gonna say Cedar Sinai. No. It doesn't matter
That title's obscure enough to be in line with a standard Rick and Morty title. Like it's obscure enough where like some people get it, other people have to Google it. I'm usually in column B.
Sidney Poitier. Thank you.
Yes.
So the theme here is a little homeschooling. I was thinking about homeschooling and how difficult it can be to teach your kids, especially during this age of COVID, right? When a lot of people homeschooling. References, obviously, Dangerous Minds is a little bit in there. We'll have some more explicit Pink Floyd The Wall references throughout the course of the, and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. I just like. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think it's a good premise. I think I love any episode where Rick comes into it really confidently and then realizes he's in over his head. And I'm sure there's some way that he would science his way out of it or figure something out. But when you get that like middle episode sort of like, holy crap, this is way worse than I thought. I don't know what I'm doing, Morty. Oh God. Like, yeah. Yeah, no, I think, and you could do sort of like with the Mallrats episode, right? You could do some like vignettes. You could do random scenes with Mortys in different classrooms and stuff, or Rick would have to come up with some sort of system to be able to teach, multiple groups at the same time. So you could have, I don't know, hologram or Ricks or Robo Ricks that do the teaching or things like that. So yeah, you could just be pulling the strings from behind like these curtains and trying to do all the teaching from one spot.
There's part of me that thinks, he helped create the Citadel. He's against the bureaucracy, and yet in creating this massive homeschool and having to administer it, that he is creating this bureaucracy.
It's like mini Citadel again with Morty's.
Yeah. And a reference that I didn't put on there that I should have, which is like season 4 of The Wire, where the whole school system is being talked about in there. Oh, or is that season 3? Season 4? It's not is it the Amsterdam one? Doesn't matter. The Wire. Best show of all time.
Available on HBO Max. Not a sponsor. All right, so those are our 4 pitches, our episode pitches. At any point, if the writers of the show want to welcome us into the writers' room, we're available. We have no professional training. I want to give an honorable mention to Peace Among Ricks. Shouting out in the chat, Rick and Morty musical episode. They get stuck in a dimension where everyone sings everything. Yeah, just let Ryan Elder go ham. Like, just, I,
They need
I,
what they need to do, Travis, is do an opposite of what they did for the Community musical, and have them all do it live action. uh, and somehow have Royland do both of the parts in like just a very very bad uh, Rick and Morty cosplay.
yeah,
Where
like all of
they're
it's really bad Rick and Morty, like Spirit Halloween costumes, for all the characters. Maybe like just shoot it on an elementary school stage, like the whole thing, and yeah, I think there's a lot of options there. Yeah, finally get Chris Parnell in there, who was born to play Jerry.
born to play
Finally,
Idris Elba.
finally.
Uh,
I will say the music of Rick and Morty is always a highlight for me. So like a musical episode, I feel like that could never really be bad. It would just it'd just be interesting to see how they would put that together.
Now, Travis, I do have this episode doesn't count. I didn't put this in my top 2, but I did have another episode idea. So I'm not going to put this in the poll because we only have 4 options for the Twitter poll. But this is my last thing. But then I have one more thing other than the episode. Okay, this episode, I had this question, right? That the CFC it's gone, right? And interdimensional cable was a creation of Rick, right?
Sure.
And so if the CFC no longer exists and there's no Ricks that are dictating the programming of interdimensional cable, what happens then? And so I thought, well, and I picked this acronym, the GCC, the Galactic Communication Commission, comes in to regulate the previously Rick regulated cable network, to reboot and update some of its most popular shows. The episode would be full of clips and team ups with classic interdimensional cable characters. On the nose, but it's essentially about boosting ratings through nostalgia. And so, so the theme is nostalgia and fan service. The references here are Star Wars, and a little movie with Faye Dunaway called Network, which is a fantastic movie that everyone should see. And this one, because it's going to be more of a board driven episode.
Yeah,
going to be directed by our friend Brian Jordan Newton.
Oh yes, of course. I'm glad we didn't both put Brian as one of our directors, because I had considered him for both of my episodes, and I was like, oh, he's moved on. He's gonna come back for this episode though. He ought to be good.
yeah.
Ooh, and the Glendale Community College reference with the GCC. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good call. Good day, face.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant by doing GCC. Yeah, for
Good
sure,
A
for
face.
Sure. I thought about having ball fondlers be like primary characters in an episode. I was like, no, you know what? Let's bring them all back. And it's bringing them back just because it's so blatant that you're bringing
Return
them back.
of the Interdimensional Cable, the sequel.
That you make it. No, oh yeah, that's the episode name is Interdimensional Cable Plus.
Solid title.
Get
That's
it?
no, I get it. It's an interdimensional streaming service. That's how they do it. Is the popularity of interdimensional cable has waned in this new post CFC economy, and streaming services are everything. So the GCC comes in and implements Interdimensional Cable Plus, a streaming service where you can stream your favorite interdimensional cable episodes anytime that's convenient for you. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. There needs to be like a pun with cord cutters somehow.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
okay. Well, we'll figure it out. You let us know.
String slashers.
You
I don't know.
um,
Yeah. So are you gonna build a Twitter poll now? Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna build a Twitter poll to figure out which
yeah,
one people like. Okay,
that's what I'm gonna do.
So Unity, you know your job. Head out to Twitter at Rick and Morty Pod. Vote for your favorite pitch, or if you have a pitch of your own, share it with us over on Twitter, and maybe we'll mention it in an upcoming episode. Listener suggestions and short out time. Brandon, do you have?
Oh
Do you have any?
no, I'm not
Oh,
done.
he's not done. I'm sorry.
Done.
It's not in the show notes. We didn't make show notes for this. I'm sorry.
This was your idea, Travis. This was your whole idea, and then you had the idea, and then I thought of extra stuff because as I was
Perfect.
going through the episodes, I thought, okay, here's a synopsis, but what are we doing with all the B plot stuff? Like, we haven't done
Did you
anything.
make your
with
own
B-plot.
Pop-Tart box of B plots?
I did.
B plot
I
generator.
did. I did come up with a few extra B plots just to throw these out there. So I'll make a separate poll for the B plot generator, which is I picked one for each of, for the most part, each of the Beth, Jerry, Summer. So the first one is Jerry goes to night school. That's it. I don't know what for. We haven't explored that. We don't need to necessarily right now. The second one is Beth finds a glass slipper. The, the third one I actually really like. But what?
No, just Beth finds a glass slipper. I don't know. Especially that it's Beth and not Summer. I don't know. Yeah, it's good.
The third one I really like, and it has nothing to do with any of the main characters, but this is like the most Rob Schraub thing that I came up with. And I laughed when I said it, and I was like, I want to make this a whole thing. Rumpelstiltskin tries to legally change his name, and whatever the context is behind it, like
it's one of those interdimensional cable plus episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just stuck in the DMV or something for like 8 hours.
Come on. And if you want to change your name, you gotta spin this gold, this hair into gold or whatever.
All right, you want to change your name? What's your current name? You're going to have to guess it. I can't tell you. Yeah,
sir, come on. There's a line behind you. Can we move? Can we get to move on? I'll be back on the third day. Okay. So the other two I have are is Summer applies for colleges, tries to figure out her passion. That wasn't a super funny one. And then Jerry and Beth look for shared hobbies, and I put horticulture madness there as a subtitle.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I thought about digging into some B plots. I thought about like with the Mallrats episode, if Jerry ends up working at the Hot Dog on a Stick too, but it's completely like coincidental. Like
Morty's a supervisor.
Like Beth just really needed him to get out of the house for the summer, and so he went and found a part-time job, making lemonade at the Hot Dog on a Stick or something like. Yeah.
Oh, it's like you know how they have like Zales Jewelers and they've got like Kay's Jewelers like on the opposite corner. But you have like Hot Dog on a Stick and then Hot Dog on a Necklace like right across from each other. And so, I guess this is kind of going into like the something Rick and This Way Comes where they're like competing shops, but when it's full of incompetent people they're competing with each other. That could be pretty funny, but
yeah, could be a thing.
Anyways, look at us. Look at us.
Who needs season 6 when you've got Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast? We're here to serve everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this bit. If you did, let us know over on social media. We certainly had a lot of fun talking about it. So send us your ideas. Go vote in the Twitter poll, and we will see which pitch is your favorite. Anything else before I move on, Brandon?
that was it. I'm done. I'm done with any
That's it.
stuff that's not
Done.
listener support.
It's dead. It's dead. And if you want us to do this again, let us know, and we can probably come up with more pitches. It's content. We'll do content. All right. Big shout outs to our Twitch participants. Peace among Ricks. Have a good day, Face. He doesn't like that. He's commenting on the fact that I say have a good A face because he doesn't have 2 D's in his name. So when I say have a good day, Face, it sounds like I have an Australian accent. Yeah. Any other short outs from the social media worlds?
Oh yeah, we do. If you give me a couple of seconds, I'm gonna
Cool.
pull
I'll
up my
stall for time. So, who's the guy that you keep doing reels with over on Instagram? It's
Oh damn it! No, you threw
Justin, right? Jason, Jared,
You messed
K
me up.
Jewelers.
Yeah.
I'll find him.
Gotcha. I was looking up other stuff, and now my brain is twisted and turned. Fudufafa. Anyways, let me.
Fudufafa.
God dang. Let me go back to Twitter and see what I was actually gonna look up. All right. So shout out Chase, old Chase over there. I sent a video of his kid doing a review of the Pickle Rick Pringles when they came out a long time ago, and she did not like the pickle Pringles. She did not like the Pickle Rick Pringles. So that was over on Twitter. She's like, "Do you want to tell Pringles how they were?" She's like, "No." Which was so cute. So Moeller, yeah, doing the third eye blind over on Instagram. That was good.
That was fun. That's fun.
Real good. Thanks.
Real good.
Thanks. Oh, there. Okay. Man, I got so much stuff on my Instagram. Yeah, Justin. Sorry.
More B plots from the chat. Beth and Jerry join a bowling league. Summer becomes TikTok famous. My money don't jiggle jiggle. It folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle.
Nice.
Sure.
Nice. I also got distracted on my Instagram because there was some Joe Bob advertisement as I was trying.
Ooh, lawn chairs. All right. If you want to get a short out, say hi to us on Twitter, on Facebook, on wherever. Come join the Twitch chat because if you come and you're part of the show on Monday night, you get to stick around for the one, the only Twitch post show, which we are going to head into right now. We will hang out with the folks on Twitch for a little while longer, chat directly with you. So if you want to be part of that, make sure you're following us on Twitch. Otherwise,
only if you want to be a part of it.
Keep it.
If you don't want to be a part of it,
don't show up.
Yeah,
don't show up. Don't. I mean, you do you.
Don't do it.
Boo. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Leave a review if you haven't already, and hopefully, we'll have some new episodes to talk to at some point in 2022. Your guess is as good as mine. But until then, I'm Travis.
And I'm Brandon. Thank you so much for listening. Head over to twitter.com/Rick and Morty podcast.
Oh.